The thing is, a lot of my students ask this question, which I don't know. I don't know if it's a relevant question, but then should we give importance to task 1 or should we give importance to task 2? So what do you think?
So the writing section in IELTS, in the IELTS exam, has 2 tasks, task 1 and task 2, and they're equally important. However, the only difference is that when the writing marks are calculated, the writing task 2 is counted twice. Okay. So the scores are generally your writing task 1 plus writing task 2 plus writing task 2 divided by 3.
Oh.
So that is how you get your average band score.
Okay.
So obviously your writing task 2 has a little more weightage because the time allotted for task 2 is 40 minutes.
Okay.
And task 1 is only 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
And the number of words you're expected to write for task 2 is 250 to 270.
Yeah.
And whereas task 1, it's only 150 to 170. So obviously there is a tendency of having to concentrate more on task 2.
Exactly.
But task 1 is made in this manner because task 1 is just to understand whether you're an academic student or a general student.
General student.
Yeah, that is the only difference. So academic students, you are given a diagram and you're asked to analyze the data.
Pictorial representations,
Yes.
illustrations.
Data representation, we call it.
Yeah.
Where you have a graph, you have a pie chart or a table chart. Sometimes it's a map.
Yeah, it's a map. Map is very confusing.
Very
actually.
confusing. Yeah, especially if you're not good with directions, which I am not.
I am.
I'm a
bad.
very bad navigator. People who know me will vouch for it also.
I would look at the right and say it's left.
Exactly. So everybody tells me, please show your hand. Don't open your mouth. So I'm very bad. But then obviously with practice I've learned how to answer the questions.
Yes.
But if you give me Google Maps, even today I'm very bad.
Oh, I hate.
Yeah.
I hate the navigation part. I don't know why, but then I really don't like that. It's probably because I'm confused, and I also confuse the person who's sitting with me.
Exactly. I don't navigate. So yeah, that's that. And process diagrams is another kind of question, which is actually the easiest if you ask me, out of the other questions asked.
Yeah.
Now, one thing you all need to understand while answering your academic task 1 is there can be static and dynamic data.
Okay.
You need to first figure out whether it is static. Static is data given during a set period of time. That maybe it could be for a particular year. However, dynamic is over a period of maybe 10 years or 12 years, or the change that has come about in that period of time. So this is important because according to whether it's static or dynamic, your tenses change, your vocabulary changes.
Yeah.
So that is something you need to first analyze. And for writing, one formula that you can use is to understand the pattern and the structure. Don't write too much, don't write less. It's very simple. You have an intro paragraph, you have an overview when it comes to your academic task 1, and then you have 2 body paragraphs where you explain the relevant features. The question itself says summarize the relevant or the key features that you see in the diagram given.
Exactly.
Don't try giving extra explanation. Don't try giving a conclusion by saying, the population of so and so country increased during this period of time because of these factors. No, try doing that in task 2 and you will definitely score better. So in task 1, all you need to do is what is given to you, understand, analyze whether it's static, dynamic. First figure out what are the relevant features, which are the highest points, which are the lowest points. If there's a particular period where there is a significant rise and there's some particular reason why that rise has happened, or a significant fall, or during a period the data stays constant, these are the only factors that you need to analyze and write down about. And if you do this, you will finish your task in 20 minutes. If you sit and explain, you're going to lose time for your task 2, which will eventually affect your band score.
So this is basically because you're going to another country, you will be offered jobs. So when you're working, your skill, how much of your skill is definitely something that matters. But at the same time, communication is something which is very important. And when they provide you with the picture, they expect you to explain what is in the picture and not fabricate things, because they want the estimate, they want the correct answer to it. So as a language developer, when you look into a picture, what you see is not what they want explanation for. What they expect you to give is exactly what they want to hear from you. That is the reason why they give these pictorial illustrations, to find out how you can actually break open the picture and put it into words. And the picture and the word should not have any sort of, should not have any change.
Yeah.
The
It's
meaning,
hard facts.
Yeah, it should be
just
fact.
Absolutely factual. Because in countries that you are planning to travel to, people believe in facts. There is no fabrication there.
So there is this this Malayalam thing where we say "Kayyi nittu parayanda." Just tell what is in the in the picture. Don't try to create a story which is not mentioned in the picture, which is not shown in the picture.
Yeah, you don't have to do that at all. However, now task 2.
Yeah.
What do you think about using idioms and phrases and these complicated words, like students call them?
I find it very interesting at the same, interesting in the sense that weirdly interesting, that a lot of students focus on using vocabulary which is that looks very fancy, but it's totally inappropriate. The word happiness and the word pleasure, even though they stream from the same synonym, it has got a totally different usage. A pleasure is something which is very, it's something that stays for a very short time. So if you eat a Ferrero Rocher chocolate, you want to eat one more, it's actually pleasure. Happiness means something that just comes and never goes. It stays.
It's constant.
It's constant. Seeing your family, spending time with them, being with them is all something that comes, that produces happiness. So when these two words are actually replaced in the wrong place, you should actually understand that the examiner has a wonderful time having, a time in laughter.
Haven't you had?
Oh my God, I've
instances?
laughed
Even
at certain words. Inappropriate vocabulary, let me tell you this, will not help you score marks. In fact, sometimes they even strike off those words because it doesn't make any sense, and you never know. Inappropriate words can even may help them strike off your sentences at the same time. So idioms, they're informal, and most of them I think they are made according to certain scenarios which need not be relevant all of the time.
And avoid using idioms while you do your task 2.
Because it's formal.
It's formal.
Idioms are basically informal.
Yes. It's very, very important. People think idioms are fancy language. They are high enriched vocabulary. A lot of people come and ask me this. What is enriched vocabulary? And I'm like, there is nothing called enriched vocabulary. Vocabulary is vocabulary. There is nothing called enriched and low vocabulary. No. You use the right word at the right time, the right context, you will be able to communicate and put your ideas across. The most important thing for task 2 is to first understand the question that is asked.
Exactly.
First try analyzing what they are asking you to write, without which you will not be able to score, because a lot of people actually don't spend time reading the question. Exactly. What they do is they see this one word, they see maybe say globalization, or they see internet, or they see obesity, they see health, something like that, and then they just write down whatever they know, all these words they would have picked up from here, there, they just write down everything randomly, and there is no answer to the question asked.
Picking up keywords is useful when it comes to reading, but when it comes to writing, you'll have to understand the whole question and the approach that you have to have towards the essay. At the end of the day, whatever you write, people should also understand. It doesn't mean that using fancy languages, or as she was telling, enriched vocabulary would actually look your essay really good, because if the question has got nothing to do with the essay, then you're in trouble.
You're in deep trouble.
You're in deep trouble,
yes.
Actually.
So first understand whether it's an opinion essay or it's a non-opinion essay. Are you actually supposed to give your opinion, or are you're not asked for an opinion? Don't give it. You don't have to. And again, concentrate on the pattern, on the structure. Understand that there's an introduction that you need to write. There is a body paragraph where you explain one part of the question, another body paragraph where you explain the next part of the question,
Exactly.
and finally a decent conclusion. That's all you need to do. It's not rocket science. It's not a Herculean
Definitely
task.
not.
Nothing of that kind. It's just a simple question asked, and they are topics that most of us discuss. I think at least, like, I go back to the point of reading. The more you read, the more conversations you have with people, you listen to, not hear, again I'm saying listen to what people have to talk about, then you will definitely understand the questions asked to you are to do with what is happening around you. It's not out of syllabus like most people say. So try picking up language. Definitely you have to improve your language, but that doesn't mean you don't know what you're talking about and you say on the flip side, on the other side of the coin, and that's not required.
It's to be honest, it's really annoying to most of the examiners when you keep using these words, because it's available in the internet and they've been seeing this like over and over again, and thousands and thousands of candidates who come and sit in front of them and use the same usages. They'll be like, isn't there anything else for them to say? So that also, it's become cliche right now. So I would suggest, both of us would suggest that don't give too much of importance to the idioms part, but give importance to actually understand the question and answer the question actually.
And very important, pay attention to your spellings. Oh my god, there are some crazy spellings that I come across, and I am shocked. I'm really shocked, where this one person would have written achieve or receive, and it's weird. The spellings are really weird.
All the three words would be different.
Yeah, and then on the other side they have used words like plethora, myriad, and you're like, trust me, as an examiner, as a trainer, I just don't correct those essays, because I know that the person has learned this sentence by heart and is using it. It's like copy paste.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, like an iota without a speck of doubt, without an iota of doubt. The iota spelling, most of the times I've seen people write weird spellings for iota.
It's not that we're judging you guys, because I do make a lot of spelling mistakes. Just being an English trainer doesn't mean that we are perfect, and I don't say that we don't make spelling mistakes. I still, if you ask me a question, for example, iota, for example, I sometimes have issue with the spelling. So what I do is I go back and I check it. If you have a doubt when it comes to spellings, go back, take the effort to go back and check, and then come back. Don't just write and just for the sake of writing, write and just submit your paper. That's not what you're meant to be doing. You need to do a little bit of research as well. So here is my question, Nitya. So I think IELTS writing have very little videos on it. Okay.
Oh, on our app you will find the most number of videos for writing, because I think it's one of the most important areas. Listening, reading, speak, everything is important. Like we said from the beginning, all four are very, very essential skills you need.
Yeah, but writing is something that I find a lot of students struggling in.
Yes, that's because people don't write anymore.
Yeah,
Like it's like reading where you're using your mobile, your text language or whatever they call it. I don't know.
The YOU,
Oh my.
I've seen them literally writing you.
Yeah. That's another thing. Always remember not to use contractions in your
You
essay.
cannot use any contractions.
Please don't say don't. Please write do not. Please don't write etc for etc. Please write the word etc. Learn the spelling. Please learn the spelling of etc. Write etc. It's very, very important. These are, like from the beginning we've been saying, tips. These are a few tips that we can possibly give you. But otherwise, to answer your question, on MyIELTS Partner, there are a lot of videos on writing, and again writing divided into task 1, task 2, on what task achievement is, on what clarity and cohesion is, on what vocabulary is, and what grammatical range and accuracy is, and how you can go about brainstorming, finding ideas. And another section I have completely dedicated that to grammar. IELTS grammar, where you have subject verb agreement, prepositions, you have clauses, you have simple, compound, complex sentences. Very, very, very important. So all of this is taken care of. Moreover, there is one section that has only vocabulary. Now you can see how you can after you have learned the basics of writing, then you move on to grammar, you move on to vocabulary. So you will know how to use these words where. So we have task 1 vocabulary, that is academic and general writing task 1 vocabulary. We have task 2 vocabulary.
Oh, nice.
And in the speaking section also, we have part 1, part 2, part 3. So we have vocabulary lessons for all these 3 sections also.
Superb.
Where you need to understand how to express your opinion, where some people find it difficult to find different phrases to explain even while writing, where you need to say what you feel.
Yeah.
So firstly, there are certain words that you can use like consequently, subsequently, firstly, secondly, nevertheless.
Yeah, adverbs. Adverb usage is quite, it's a little confusing. So if you're not using the right way to understand it, then you can end up writing something really bad.
But we have all of this on the application.
Yeah, and if you, after all of this, if you still feel that app is not going to really help you, let me tell you that my IELTS partner also offers one-on-one sessions. What I'm talking about is like they give sessions. So if you're interested in joining for that, you can do that directly. Despite having the app, you still feel that you need to have a person to help you out. They are there for you. That. So I'm approved of this. And I know that I'm an IELTS trainer and I do have an institution, but I do approve this because I have seen how they work as a team. I've seen how faithful they are, and I've enjoyed their reels. By the way, let me tell you something. I knew Nitya way before than I becoming a social media influencer, because I started this concept by actually seeing Nitya's reels, which I found very genuine actually.
Thank you.
I
a lot. Thank you.
So I was just 700 subscribers or followers then. I really enjoyed her style, the way she explains things, no rush, everything is perfect. So I would definitely recommend this. I can give you an assurance to that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, there is one more thing, Nitya, that I would like to ask. I've heard about this 179 something, a course for that.
The basic.
The basic.
That's just a basic course. Basically, the idea of that course is to give a student an introduction, just an overview of what IELTS is all about.
Yeah, see, no matter how much we speak, not necessarily that everybody should be convinced. If you are somebody who's looking into it and you want to know, like what she said, an overview before you enter into the app, I think this would be.
It gives, there is a mock test as well,
Okay.
and there is a reading, listening, writing and speaking mock test. So it will give you an idea of where you stand. It will tell you, because it's going to give you instant scores. So the minute you submit your test, you get your scores.
Super.
So you will know, where you stand at this moment and how much practice you need to put in. So that was the idea of having this course. But there are several courses that we offer according to the need of the user. So for a beginner level IELTS, you definitely need to put in practice. Practice is the key.
Exactly.
Like we were saying from the beginning, we've been reiterating, it's a skill. So to develop a skill, you need to practice, and that is ample on MyIELTS partner.
Superb.
So yes.